Welcome to the lovely HP community and 5D collective. Today we start with me reading to you. Like the little hummingbird, you can travel the earth and go long distances to bring that which you are here to share with the world and leave it behind a little better than yesterday. Or a lot, we'll find out. And every little bit counts, like the little hummingbird, as you can see. So being mindfully aware of yourself and accountable and regulating in the now. Excuse me, a little tickle in my throat. So with that being said, as I continue to get past the ticklishness, what other people say about you doesn't matter. It's how you feel, and you don't want to have shame about anything you've done. So if you have an inner child that's securely attached, awesome. You then know of the 5D collective. State of consciousness and frequency, which people make sound really fancy, and I'm here to let you in on a fun fact. I have known it my entire life, but that's because I got lucky. Wait for it, because we're going to use some science secular stuff since, there's a lot of spiritual egos out there. So this one's dedicated to the true spiritual process, human being who's embodying it. Truth is in the land of neutrality, and anyone who doesn't want it doesn't have to have it. Okay, so I'm going to explain. I'm attachment trauma informed, but before I even go into any of that, here's Robert Spolsky, Determined. Thanks, Robert. I haven't read it yet, but I've seen his interviews, and also I'm attachment trauma informed, as I said. So, hey, Dr. Daniel Siegel, Fox, all of you amazing people, Bezel Vanderkolk, Junior Fisher, Patrick McNamara, names I'll never be able to name all of them. Now let me bring in my information. I'm the pseudoscience lady, but I want you to understand it's really great to be a mystic. I have a good time, and I begin my journey of spirituality with that name. Jesus, Holy Spirit, and the big one, God. I have a very good relationship with God and my mother. And so I'm going to pause and let you in on a fun fact. The rigid brains, we're not interested in having any relationships. Long-term, short-term, meaning I'm not here on YouTube and anywhere else to connect with people who do not want to be their self. That's what I'm going to raise my hand. So with determined, I know that anybody has no free will. No. All the 3-year-olds who are whole are going to come navigate here because we're going to have a good time. You know what a 3-year-old is? Besides stubborn and also not spiteful, not the whole ones. The ones who are not whole, well, that's a different story. Spory. Yeah, they have a little vengeance tooth. Not really fun, and I don't know any of that because my mother raised me with equanimity, and I have a twin, and she taught my twin and I how to play nice with our words. I'm going to give you the backstory, pseudoscience woo-woo lady, but I'm serious when I say I'm a 5D mystic in the Enlightenment Soul Age group. I'm an empowered feminine, that's for sure. That's because my body's not broken. You know why? Because my heart's not broken. You know why? Because my gut's not broken. You know why? Why? Let me tell you why. Because my 0-1-year-old, one way, shape, or form, and I'm going to say my twin had something to do with it because she's a mammal like I am, and we're both little, and we're put next to each other, and our mammalian nervous systems, as Stephen Porges would point out, were able to sit at ease because that's all we wanted, right? All you do is eat, poop, pee, whatever it is, right? So determined, come on in, because all I want to use right now, science, is so that I can share with the spiritual egos the fact that they're not doing the spiritual process. Anytime I hear them wanting to be rewarded for basically what is, if you went to therapy, you'd have been over everything that I'm getting to see on screen with Peter Pan's Lost Boys, and we wouldn't have the 7 to 14 charming being followed around. And they're really not charming to smart brain. They're only charming to the insecurely attached, non-bilaterally, lack of awareness, accountability, and regulation skill human being who really, gosh, those teenagers were so annoying. But growing up and then figuring out that they still are all out there, I'm just like, okay, I know I'm not a genius, but I still find ego extremely annoying because, again, I have one human being who I grew up with, and we learned how to play nice. So what I'm trying to say is my twin and I, we had ruptures, repairs. I even got disowned. I'm a 3-year-old, don't know breakage because I'm never, ever alone. The one time I said the stupidity as a teenager, I was like, come on, are you serious? You got your mom, your twin, God, Jesus, what do you want? Why are you playing drama? There's drama kings and drama queens out there, Maria. And it wasn't in a way of, oh, bad you. No, it was more like, what are you doing? Sounds like a pity party over here. So that's how an inner securely attached 0 1 year old who can self-regulate in my E state, lo and behold, that fancy woman has no idea what she's missing out on, but I'm going to leave it alone. Robert, come on in. So she won't see the rainbow. No, in fact, the non-bilaterally integrated brains are really boring, which is why, as I said, we don't want to hang out with them at all. The whole 3 year old hearts. So the other ones, they can hang out and teach each other lessons. I mean, I find it ridiculous. Anytime I'm seeing couples scolding each other, I mean, might as well go to Terry Real. At least you have a mediator instead of me watching human beings be parents of each other. And I'm like, what kind of lover is that? You telling me how to behave in life? What do you think? No, I have a mother, and I told her, you can't spank me at 3. That's a differentiated self. So I have explanations for you, and they're really awesome when you get home here. Until that point, I'm going to know when I need to be the empowered feminine, and the only people who notice that shit's going inside my brain is only if they care to really, really see me because they want to get to know me. Doesn't even mean they want to soothe my nervous system. No, for all I know, they might want to ding. Luckily for me, those tings, again, I got a twin, I got this owned. So really, you can't hurt my feelings because I got this owned. And I'll never forget it. And my sister even said, is that why we're broken? I said, we're not broken. We're different. And we just have different love languages. You silly. And to this day, we will fight like cats and dogs. And anybody who is a witness will not enjoy it, which is why the last time it happened, I looked at her and I said, look, they picked your side, which is good. So you go thank every one of them. But in the future, how about you and I separate ourselves from the herd, go and have our thing, and that way we can work it out. We can work it out. We can work it out. You know what you find out from smart people? So the scientists are always the smart ones. There's one of my courses with NICABM, and he was talking about siblings, and he said siblings will tend to have the opposite nervous system way of interacting with each other, which is completely on point with my twin and I. But even just siblings in general, which is completely on point with really universe, God, and diversity. Again, what do you think? Is it going to be as straightforward as it gets? Come on, Diego, Manny, Sid, but no Lucifer. Okay, so with that being said, like a little hummingbird, go, fly, fly, fly me to the moon, and let me across the stars. So anybody who wants nightmare shit, they can go elsewhere, like that Zen master was suffering, because really, it's tiresome to hear again and again and again. Human beings, I mean, I'm 44. I know I haven't lived that long, but I've lived long enough since I was a young adult and on YouTube to see nothing move into the direction of seeing empowered mystics and empowered spirituality people and empowered sciences. Yes, I've seen a lot of those, so thank goodness for that. As for the ones who lack the integrity to uphold our ancestors, here's what I have for you today. So the spiritual process, again, please, not a lawmaker of anything. One human being's subjective experience. Thank you so much. Sharing it on screen with the community of those who will resonate. Because I know there's the spiritual process out there. Because there's other 3-year-olds who are like, okay, really ego? Wow. So again, do I deserve a reward for being internally securely attached from my 1-year-old? Maybe. No. I don't think I deserve a reward. It doesn't sound like I did much. It just sounds like I did what I got given by God and my home, so I was lucky. I'm okay with luck. In fact, when someone says, why does she have panic attacks? Her life's so perfect. And the laughter and the answer is, yes, my life is perfect. And no, I don't control the panic attacks, but it's okay for ignorant people to speak in ways that are completely hilarious. Because that's how it works when you're not like, oh my God, they didn't understand me. Yeah, that's not going to help. Or, nutshell lady, so you're telling me I have to put up with this? I mean, really, she gave you an answer to how to work through your window of tolerance. The fact that you're whining on YouTube don't change whenever it happens. And in person, I've had people say, that's not possible, as I'm explaining how I work through my panic attacks, and I'm like, okay, and then another human being getting off on it, that's even more disgusting, and then finding out that all these human beings could use one thing, a good therapist. In the meantime, they're out projecting shit, and I should be more flexible. No, I'm good with my healthy self-worth, picky, selective. In fact, I have no complaints about all of my herd members, except for the ones that I didn't choose. I have no complaints, because as a spiritual process, I know that they were meant for me, and I was meant for them, like my entire oversoul, which is why an empowered feminine won't go around disrespecting their masculine or masculines. Disrespecting, I said, yeah, because the minute spiritual ego gets in town, I'm so sorry. Are you anointed? Did you do something and you want a reward for it? For what? Being a decent human being, or maybe not being a decent human being? So anytime you got a nervous system that don't know how to be in its social engagement system, somehow that pain point, they want a reward, they drag their feet, who knows? But the lovely Zen master gives you the answer. He has laundry. So here's the deal: human suffering love narrative. Shoo shoo. Go on to the people who are letting you feel like cheerleaders and badasses. That's all spiritual ego, not the spiritual process. Spiritual process, the way I'm going to share with you, is something very beautiful, by the way. And anybody who really wants to access it, even the secular person, because again, it's mindfully, spiritually living and loving people who are self-empowered to be their badass true self, which is really enriching. Having the depth of your emotional plane, I mean, there's no comparison. I don't look to the past and think, I have had some karmic evil monster following me around, making my love life hell. I saw this lady. I'm like, wow, everything that's coming out of your mouth. I'm just thinking, what the fuck? Because now all I think of is that 0 8-year-old, since I know about implicit and explicit memory, sensations, images, affects, meanings, behaviors, Peter Levine and everything. And I'm like, that's a child. That's their 3-year-old. They're living it out on screen. And I'm getting to watch all the people who are like, yeah, I'm a badass because I'm for real. Or like the men who say only women who are alone have strength. Okay, once again, like the Zen master, you're just kind of doing this alert. So the threat response modulated embodiment, very clear to a person who knows what restorative embodiment is. And I don't want to be in the modulated. In fact, I'm so happy that my body's so great and happy right now, which is why anytime I have any dysregulated, modulated embodiment people around me, I don't really notice it because I calibrate to stay within my own self. And if I do notice it, I will tell them. And usually that doesn't happen often, except for some people. But that's another story. Okay, so the spiritual process. It is not the same as the spiritual ego. Yeah, spiritual egos are boring. And the scientific process in person, not the same as the science ego. Yeah, the pause self ego, not the same as the whole self ego. And it's not a competition, just letting you all know. Internally securely attached human beings have bilateral integration, and they have a restorative embodiment, or they're going to get there. So here's how they do know what you're all made of and what I'm made of and what God intended and what he means when you're all made to contribute to the world. Great, thank you, God, because I've always known that within each and every one of us, as I was told, there is love and the soul. Yep. Mother Earth, Gaia, she definitely is here for her children. And no matter how many times those extreme natural people think that she's trying to eat us up alive, no, there's actively space weather. Besides, yes, humanity, of course, needs to redirect some things, but stop being vindictive and vengeful. And really, the elemental group is really not great with that. They like to bring in their vengeance, which then spreads hatred and more. And again, Mother Earth isn't going to play favorites. She's going to just organically recalibrate in the absence of the energy. And really what I should say is, since she's in a 5D frequency, anything that's beneath neutrality is going to not be having a good time, because all of 5D is coherence. So it's not really about you having to go to therapy. No, it's if you don't learn how to navigate your social engagement system, well, spirit, Akash, universe, creator, dark matter, dark energy, universal laws. Biologists, they always share with us, and neurobiologists and neuroscientists, how our human makeup is smarter. Yes, the body knows a lot more than the left mode of the brain, and any ego that is blind is only using power to the brain, which is why they're not smart. And so a person of true spirituality will know in their heart, mind, body, self that no creator from the spirituality realm would ever come for its children with vengeance because of mistakes, flaws, oh, lo and behold, imperfections, ignorance, blind, paused, ego, self people, and suffering minds that need a good therapist. Yeah, that's really not nice of all these human beings out there who, by the way, they play a role. They really, I got taught, don't play God. Now, the true scientists, they automatically know this shit. That's who I learned from. The ones who are not true scientists, well, they deny the findings of their colleagues and chase them down the hallways, and they don't believe that's possible for all of minds and hearts to be healed from that which is called trauma. Wow, does anybody believe that? No, I don't. Meaning, yes, I believe that egos who need to be special want a group because that's what I see with spiritual science egos and then just any blind pause self ego. It's I and our group, in and out group. Yeah, it's not something that I'm like, wow, how amazing. It's more of, wow, how many are there flat earther groups? Because really, do you all need Peter Pans? Are you all chocolate copycats? Teenagers, you all look fancy in your facades. That's what I think when I see people who are egos, FYI. So, yeah, the spiritual process has nothing to do with any of when you see people that are doing stuff like that. We're going to have a part 2 to this so that you can absorb, contemplate, maybe not come back if you don't want to, maybe come back for more. And oh, it's not boring to be a mystic in the Enlightenment Soul Age group. It's actually fun to know that sciences and spirituality prove what I did learn as a kid growing up and what I have known all of my previous lifetimes and the future of my life as a mystic. I know my future. But again, is it provable? No, it's not. However, I am trying to share what the true spiritual process is versus what you see with spiritual egos. Because really, their predictions for 2025, I mean, I just watched one of them as she explains, like that other lady. If you don't pick, oh my God, oh, you're going to, not be moving into the enlightenment. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's really because some people do not want to heal trauma because they don't give a shit about healing it. As Patrick Tiahan presented, they don't want to. And as Determined presented, they don't have free will. As God told me, leave alone the 0-1-year-olds. They still have the choice if they want to heal their inner trauma or not. And so there you go. It's very straightforward. And no, it's not Lucifer or demons because neuroscientists prove that's not it. It's fear. It's fear. So we'll be back with part 2. If you'd like, tune on in. Have a good one.